Okay. Right. Let's talk a bit of boxing. All right, let me just get the feed, the YouTube feed up, sort that out. Sooner the better. Then we get into it. Right. Let's get it started. Right. Did that. Right. What's up, Lennox? Big yourself up, bro. Big yourself up. Yes, indeed. The link is there. It's not a problem. Okay, so I mean, we're about ready to do what we do. If you do click the link, do not put your camera on because you know, conduct yourself in an orderly fashion. Talk some boxing. Yes. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm like trying to figure where to start and what to start with. I'm not normally lost for words. I've only got an hour to do it. I don't have the extra hours. Devin Haney and his dad coming under a lot of fire these days, isn't it? What is it they don't like about Devin? What is it exactly? Is it his style, or is it because he said no white boy can beat me? That was I think is it that's what's really got people pissed off, or they don't like him. I don't know, or his dad. What's up, Lennox?
Yeah, Wagwan Beats.
Yeah, man. Just here.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you was just chatting about Devin. I think honestly, yeah, I'm sure you heard me say this before. Like when you look at social media, a lot of these so-called boxing fans don't actually like boxing.
So you're saying they've got ulterior
they got ulterior motives, and you know, what I mean, you see how them man, you know the B word, the boring word, right? Whenever there's a highly technical boxer, oh, he's boring. He's boring, right? So it's like these men really, if you notice, there's certain men in the YouTube or whatever in the social media boxing space that all their favorite fighters are men that just get punched in the face. You know what I mean? So if you got to notice, like a lot of the narratives around boxing, people don't fancy hit and not get hit. I think that, you know what I mean? And then obviously that was, so the moment, if they don't like you and you do something, you give them an excuse, right? It's like, let's take, for example, see how AJ basically saved heavyweight boxing, right?
Yeah.
And them man were just waiting in the wings. As soon as that man read the thing during the 2020 protests and that, the Black Lives Matter, it's all, oh my days. You know what I mean? That's not, you lot were just waiting. You was just looking for something, yeah? And I feel like that's been the same thing with Devin. You know what I mean? They were just looking, and the moment you give them an excuse,
they don't let go of it, do they? Yeah, they never get like one speech. Like how much I'm not even going to admit, like British boxers who fought for world heavyweight titles, how much crap have they said about people and topics, and they haven't got that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, you get me. It's like, you know what I mean? It's whether they like you or not. Like, let's be honest, Fury failed a drug test. You know what I mean? Fury's got bare dirt on him. How many times does Simon Jordan bring that up? But you see how conveniently them man keep banging on about Conor Benn's situation, yeah?
Right.
Man's been cleared.
And here's the thing, yeah, Conor's been cleared, like you say. And Simon's bone of contention was Conor is hiding behind confidentiality. Well, that's exactly what Tyson Fury did. And I pulled up the receipts from UCAD to prove that.
Yeah, so my point is, yeah, if they don't like you, all they're doing is waiting in the wings for an excuse to cover up whatever low, you know, feminine tendencies they had that made them not like you. They're just waiting for a reason. You know what I mean? And I think that's really like, that was what used to really get at them about AJ, because he was so squeaky clean, you know, to take, oh, he's fake. He was so squeaky clean that, remember there was a time the man couldn't really find a reason to say, because remember when you ask someone, why don't you like AJ? And they can't give you a logical answer.
Oh, I've had several people, you know, like, you put that question to them, well, what's your problem exactly? Well, they can't.
Yeah, and I use him as an example because he's an easy one to use, because he's never really done anything. You know what I mean? People could find something to say like, oh, Devin's this, Devin's that. So that's why I'm using the AJ example. It's like, if they don't like you, they don't like you. They'll find, all they try to do is veil their hatred in something. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is. It's crazy, bro. It is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, what did I'm not sure about what his dad said about black fighters have to what do you say? They have to.
That's my point. It doesn't matter what his dad said. It's like, I don't care what his dad said. I'm talking about the fight. I'm not paying attention to these lot's dads. And if if they want to hold a candle to the dad, what about Ryan Garcia's dad? What about Teofimo's dads? There's bare fathers out there. There's blatant alcohol. You know what I mean? Just obvious, just said bare nonsense. I mean, Ryan Garcia's dad's been dropping N-bombs, you know what I mean, all over the place. You said bare racist shit, but I guess it's a double standard, right? You could be as disrespectful as you want to the black man, but you know what I mean? It's the other way around. It's a problem.
It's crazy. It's crazy. What upsets people often in boxing is crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. But, you know, like, what do you think of Devin versus Ramirez? Good comeback fight.
I mean, listen, what people forget is that Devin has a lot of faith in his skills. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I just focus on the boxing. You know, people try to downplay man being an undisputed champion, going across the world twice, something most American boxers would not do. To defend is this thing. However you feel about it, and I don't think, and when I've watched the Loma fight back, I don't think Loma won the fight. That's just, you know what I mean? But the narrative situation, and here's my thing. This is what I tell people. If you think Loma won that fight, Devin was the away fighter on a top-ranked card. You think that if they found a way to give Loma that fight, they would not have?
Well, Loma didn't win that fight. It was a close fight. He didn't win.
That's my point. But people talk like it's a robbery. He didn't win the fight. But here's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's the away fighter. Devin's the away fighter. We've seen if there's a promotional outfit that is quick to rob the away fighter, if you get a close fight on top rank, they're not giving it to the away guy. So that's what tells me you won the fight clearly, because you were on away soil.
See, the thing is, man, like, he's done a lot of good body work, Devin did in the fight. Like,
well, that's the thing. So, yeah, Beats, you see the thing that when I watched it and I scored it back, right, I said, you got to pay attention to the reactions.
yeah.
When he punches, when he landed clean on Loma, Loma backed up, circled out, and reset. When Loma done them little pity-pat flurries, Devin came right back. There's not one time where Loma successfully backed him up. You get what I'm saying? Every time he landed a body shot on Loma, Loma would rhythm step, circle out, whatever. And they're like, oh, he's calculating. No, he's not. He's hurt.
See, the thing, even if they gave it the other way, I wouldn't have cried about it because it was close. But Devin just pulled it out in my just pulled it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And people take that as thing is like, yeah, you get me? Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I could have been upset about, I thought, what do you call it? I thought, and you know what it is too, a lot of times, yeah, the way the fan base reacts, it really comes off how the fighter reacts, right? Because I personally thought Bivol won both fights, right?
Yeah.
I was upset at the first fight, but you know why I was calm about it? I just said, you know what? Because here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about the first fight. I got this thing that you heard me say before. Yeah, I'm always like, you got to pay attention to the body language of the fighter at the end of the fight. You watch, what's his name, Beterbiev's body language. He doesn't walk to his corner like he won that fight. It's the same thing, and everyone likes to argue. I said, watch Canelo in the Lara fight. Watch his corner. Them men are consoling him at the end of the 12-round bell. And then all of a sudden, he wins a split decision. Watch Beterbiev in the first fight. He walks to his corner. He walks to his corner like a defeated man. His corner they were all surprised when he won. But you know what? Why I can't say much? Because you know what Bivol done? Nah, it's calm. Run it back. I'll mash him up the next time.
Yeah. Right.
You know, but you see, but the point I'm trying to make, but you see, that's how, so as a fan, I got to take that. Like, yo, he took the L, blah, blah, blah. But you see when Loma's crying robbery, his whole fan base turns into little girls just the way he is. Your fans
right? You see, that's the thing, right? They keep, Devin, it's unmanly what Devin's doing. But when Loma loses, he cries like a little girl. No one says that's unmanly. He literally cries like a girl when he loses.
And
Devin.
And Bates, you know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that with Loma, yeah? If you watch Iber, see how many decisions he had overturned. That man lost fights and protested. He lost to Conceição and went on a whole, like, I think it took a long protest to have the decision reversed.
I remember watching him fight. Was it Felix Verdejo and the amateurs? That was close, man. It was pretty close.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about close fights, Beast. I'm talking about fights where he didn't get the nod. There's at least 4 fights, and they went and protested.
Is the last Beterbiev-Bivol fight? They scored it a majority. Are they joking? How is that a majority? Bivol sweat the second fight.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's things that could be said about that, but like I said, the point I was trying to bring up is that you know, sometimes close fights, I think the way the fan base reacts a lot of times mirrors how the fighter reacts.
Yeah, that's true.
Because not once, I mean, Bivol knows he won the fight, but not once he's like, nah, it's calm still. And the thing is, you know better BF didn't believe he won the fight because of the way he fought in the second fight.
Copping on answers. Before cried when he lost. Yeah, but that was in the amateurs. We're talking like pros, really. Yeah, Loma cries. Like when Loma lost against Day, didn't he broke down and cried, didn't he? Or was it
Yeah, my man shed bare tears. I mean, it's a meme. It's a meme on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? But hey, listen, whatever, emotional loss or whatever. But my point is, your reaction is reflected by the fan base.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. Loma, bad loser.
Yeah, it's reflected by the fan base, so it's just mad. But like I said, boxing
reflected by the fan base. Yeah,
boxing is a funny old sport. You know what I mean? Like, it's really funny. Like a man like Ramirez, and I honestly am like the problem. What people fail to see, Devin's never. That's why I don't understand. Like, he's never taken the easy route. You know what I mean? He stepped up to 140, went right to Regis Prograis. That man, the problem is he's been doing things that people say fighters want to do, fighters should do, but when he does it, they find a way to spin it like it's not something. You get me?
Yeah. But you see, the problem with boxing is, you know, if you look at Keyshawn, man, he's had some good wins, yeah, but now he's champion. Why didn't he fight Andy Cruz and try to bet at least one?
Hey, Beats, you know what? I was talking to Hakeem about this, and I said, you got to really take a microscope to the top rank matchmaking. You got to really watch the top rank matchmaking. I'm standing on business, as the Americans say, yeah? I've been said I don't believe that kid beats Cruz any day of the week. He doesn't beat.
He's certainly taking his time to avenge them losses.
Well, I mean, Beats, I'm not an amateur psychologist, but we've all watched fighters and you see energy. Just watch his energy when they bring up fighting him.
You don't have to be an amateur psychologist. He's ducking. If I beat you 5 times, right?
Yeah.
5 times. If I beat you 5 times, and then I turn pro, and I'm walking around, strutting around, highly ranked in all the sanctioning bodies, and I ain't giving you a match now, and you've got belts. You're fighting Edwin dos Santos.
Well, Beats. Here's something a lot of people forget. You know, the 5th time in the Olympics, one person was pro and one person was an amateur.
Yeah.
He went into the Olympics with, I think, 4 or 5 pro fights.
Wow, man.
Look up the box rec. Look up the box rec, Beats. I'm not. I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah. I know, man. Like,
so not only did you get beat as an amateur, you got beat as a pro too, but you don't want the smoke.
And the bookmakers will surely have Keyshawn a favorite, I think, as a pro, because like, look how Keyshawn looks impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Who's like, you had the Argentinian, and then last time out, who did he beat? Baranchik, yeah, for the title. Stop Baranchik. I listen. I thought Baranchik was going to put up stiffer resistance. He took Baranchik apart.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's weird. I thought maybe the size different. I don't know, but I mean, I honestly I'm obviously like, the only reason I'm invested in that matchup is just because so many people chat shit to me online about it. Since, you know, I'm the one that I'm not saying like I'm not his promoter, but remember I put Cruz on Front Street in 2019.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, check the Twitter feed. I think whenever I got on this online thing, yeah, you know, I went Cuba to meet him and he was banned from training, whatever. So me and what's the other guy? There's the guy who does the IBA things. I forgot Taylor. Me and Taylor, Yeah, Taylor only does amateur boxing online, but
Okay.
yeah, I told people, I remember the tweet. I said, if you're in this guy's weight class, just be happy with your silver medal. I said that in 2019 before the Olympics.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. So do you think the result would be different between them two now, or would it just follow the same pattern as that?
It will follow the same pattern. You know why? Because here's the thing. Here's what's going on. Keyshawn, I'll give you this secret source. Keyshawn now believes so much in his power. The problem is he was never fluid. He loaded up too much. And as you pointed out, Andy's got great eyes. So if he was loading up as an amateur, now he telegraphs way too much. And Andy is like water. And with the new confidence where he's even willing to sit, not sure if you watched the Olympic gold medal match. It's like Keyshawn believes in his power and he's got to land something clean. And I can't really see him landing something clean. And you know what it is? Them man talk about collecting data and doing all them things.
Yeah.
I say Cruz, much like my guy, what's his name? Rigo in his prime, yeah? Once them man get your rhythm, it's over. Once Cruz gets your rhythm, it's nothing. The only thing that Cruz, basically, his downside is he gets bored. I feel like he gets the rhythm and it gets too easy. You know what I mean? Like from the last pro fights I've seen, once it gets easy for him, he doesn't switch off, but he just starts not bullshitting, but he's figured it out. You know what I mean? And he's not as
The last guy he fought, you could have stopped him. But by the time he started really walking the guy down and putting offense, transitioning.
Yeah, the guy was holding on for dear life. Last 2 rounds, he was holding on for dear life. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a convincing win. But you think about it, and you could have stopped this guy earlier. Could have stopped him.
Yeah. He didn't open up. He didn't open up earlier. I think he's still got a bit more. He still has high respect for the pro game. So he's just like a lot more. You know what I mean? He's doing a lot of things, but here's the one thing I'll say is that I like Bozy as a coach, but I don't like the fact that Bozy never respects the opponent.
Yeah.
He does shit in the corner. Get this guy out of here. I'm like, nah, fam. That man's got 8-ounce gloves on, same as you. He went through a training camp, same as you. You got to have some respect for the opponent.
Yeah, that's how Leonard got knocked out.
Yeah.
Call. Pepe Correa told him, go knock that bum out. Yeah, that bum was Mike Tyson's chief sparring partner. That bum has never been floored. And even up to now, he's in his 50s, still fighting, never been floored ever. And you're telling him, go knock that bum out. Leonard's got caught. Leonard's got caught with that. What punch did he hit him with? Was it a left? 1-2 in it. 1-2. For Lewis is out, lights out, man. Lewis. That's crazy. You got to, like you said, you got to respect the opponent.
Yeah, you got to respect the opponent. And hey, Virtuoso, see, my problem, I get your comments, but the thing is, when I look in Keyshawn's eyes, he doesn't believe the shit you're saying. Because here's the thing. If you notice, Top Rank has set up a fight for everyone to avenge the Olympic losses. What's the problem? They had Michael Conlon avenge his. They try to set up
against the Russian, yeah?
Yep, they try to set up Shakur to avenge his against Rabisi, but Shakur got too big for the weight. You know what I mean? They've always it's a Top Rank thing. If you're signed in Top Rank and you came out the Olympics, they always get you the get back. Every one of them, even the heavyweight that they got now, the what's his name? He's got the porn stash. Top Rank are always trying to do that. So yeah. So you tell me why my guy's on Top Rank, but we're not here and they're not trying to get this fight done.
Ducking. Just trying to preserve their fighters, man. You know what I mean? Let's get Keyshawn Davis and the Cuban in the ring, man. Let's get that fight done. You know what I mean? If Keyshawn is good as we're saying he is, with them knockouts, You should be able to fight that guy now. There's no excuse. You know what I mean? These fighters, see across the pond, they wait so long to make fights, man. Wait so long.
Yeah, Bomac could plan all he wants, but what I do notice about Bomac is only 2 fighters that execute his plan. I've also seen lots of Bomac fighters get mashed up. So, you know what I mean? Not everyone is Terence Crawford.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Not everyone is Terence Crawford, because here's the thing, Bomac can't get in there. And I don't even believe in the amateur psychology thing, but if this guy's got you every time you faced him, you think Keyshawn's going to go in there with the highest level of confidence?
Of course not. Can Crawford beat Canelo, you reckon?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can outbox him. But, you know what I mean? I think he can outbox him. It's just going to be... It's going to get techie, and it's the same thing too. I feel like he can outbox him, but he's going to have to put on like a Bivol level performance in terms of concentration.
Yeah, that's a serious fight, man. That's a serious fight.
Because the thing is, here's the thing: he's got to be defensively responsible, but I think he could do it because Canelo loads up. So it's easy. Yeah, it's easy to see the shots coming, but you got to stick it on him for 12 rounds, and you got to have the feet to make sure that he doesn't sell to the judges. Because what Canelo does is once you're outboxing him, he starts trying to whip wide shots, so it looks like he's pressuring you. Even if he's missing, the shots just look like he's throwing a lot.
That's very true. I was thinking yeah, he loads up. Yep. And he doesn't throw a lot. And he doesn't throw a lot of punches either. Because Bud don't want a high pace either.
Yeah. The question is, if Bud's got the reach on him and he can keep him at bay, because the other thing too, if he can keep him out at bay with the sat and keep his body away from him, yeah, it's a long night for Canelo.
Wow, that'd be a great win, man. A great win. I'm hoping Crawford can do it. Although, what about him not having a fight since he beat Madrimov? Like, what 2 fights?
Yeah, that's a tough sell, because you know what I mean. Because here's my thing for the style that he needs to beat Canelo, he needs to be sharp. So that's the only problem. See, the thing is, I keep going back to Bivol for like pure boxer puncher situation. The thing is, Bivol stayed in the ring. You know what I mean? Fight fell through, I'll fight someone else. So his timing was never off. You get me?
100%, man.
Yeah. So his timing was never off. So for the style where you got to be not on your toes, but you got to be in and out, picking and popping, defensively responsible, your timing needs to be top notch. So being out the ring that long, especially with the last fight you had quite a tricky customer in front of you, it might be tough. So I mean, sparring is, you know what I mean, but I don't know. It's just kind of the biggest thing with timing is the fight gloves. You can't spar in fight gloves. And the difference of, you know what I mean, that 6 to 8 ounces between your sparring gloves or if you spar in 14s or 16s to fight gloves, it's a big difference. Like your hand speed changes, how you open and close your fist in the glove changes, so many things that if you haven't, it's going to take 3 or 4 rounds to adjust to if you haven't done it in a while.
Okay, so Daniel is saying, I hate this new generation of trainers trying to be all old school, like I don't watch tape. I don't even like watching boxing. There's a few theories on tape though. Sometimes you watch tape and it's giving you it's like making you focus too much on your opponent rather than what your fighter actually needs to do. Sometimes studying the tape is doing what? Sometimes you need to see what your fighter isn't doing from his last few fights and kind of measure his performances. Measure like his sprint speeds. Are they increasing, decreasing, and stuff? You know, is his work rate when he's doing just gym work, getting fit? Is that improving? What about sparring? Is he throwing enough jabs?
I mean, it depends on. So here, the thing about tape is, if you're, or even not even tape, right, is watching, going to see your opponent live, is that
Yeah,
what you can do if you're a cerebral trainer or cerebral fighter, you could pick up the habits, right? You could see what the habits is, right? For instance, I could tell you, Luis Ortiz always pushes his left glove in before he loads up on the left, right? He's got a
yeah.
nervous tick. There's Tyson Fury. He's got a tick before he throws a certain jab. So
Touching the
things
chest.
like that. Yeah. It's like Ken Norton talked about Ali's jab, how he kept hitting Ali with the right hand. He said, I noticed that when he jabs, he slides. So what I would do is catch the jab with my hand and just ride his forearm up and punch him in the face. So if you watch that fight, that was an Ali tick that he picked up from watching Ali. It was like, okay, this is what he does. So boom. When I time that on the second jab, that's the counter. So tape is good for things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because everyone's got habits, good habits, bad habits, whatever. You know, everyone's got a favorite combination. So if your coach is cerebral enough to know how to counteract that, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it's just the way Maidana was able to counter the pull counter for Floyd, right? And they talked about, yeah, we know when he sets up to the jab to the body, that was Floyd's favorite move. You saw that fight, he got cracked when he tried it.
yeah,
That's from watching tape and knowing what he's going to do because he's got a habit of doing that.
yeah. Like, hey, listen, if it's effective, then fair enough. Like Max Schmeling, he was accredited to be the first guy to study film when he fought Joe Louis, and it worked. He stopped Joe. You know what I mean? It worked.
Yeah, no, there's definitely tape, you know what I mean? So it's like certain things, you know, even in the amateurs, right? When I'm like watching some new ABA lads, in sparring, I'm like, hey, if you could see the opponent is only going left, like, you know, certain, you know, amateurs are some guys who don't know how to go move towards their backhand side. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they practice jabbing it. So if I'm like, well, stop letting him go left, force him right, and he can't fight that way. He's
yeah.
not
But if
used
they
to that.
don't have to cut off the ring, then they're lost. Then, isn't it? That's the thing. You got to know how to cut off the ring. You know, and a lot of fighters can't do these skills, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry. Who's this first to the left? Listen, I don't know if it was Ken or his coach, but the point is, someone spotted it and told Ken what to do. Whether Ken spotted it or the coaches, what Beats and I were talking about is watching tape and what you could take from tape. So whether it was Eddie Futch or it was Ken, I don't remember the history. I do know that that is what they saw in Ali and how it was executed in the fight. And if you watch the fight, you see exactly what happens.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, big up first. It could be. It probably was Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch, first man. First man. Did he train Joe Frazier to beat Ali? Yeah, I believe he did. Or Ken
Yeah,
Norton. One of the two. And he trained Montel Griffin to beat Roy Jones. Not a joke. He's a great coach.
yeah, that's a coach that watched and Eddie Futch watched tape or he watched fighters. I don't know if it was tape, but he was known for going out and watching potential opponents. I mean, again, you talk about all the time. There's a reason why Angelo passed on the Tommy Hearns fight the first time he was offered. He
Yeah.
went out and saw Tommy fight and he was like, nah, Sugar's not ready. So yeah, whether you watch tape or you watch the guy in real life, there is something to be said for studying your opponent.
Yeah, Angelo was under pressure because they wanted to make that fight. But Angelo said, no, 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 no. and Angelo made it, had it enforced in the contract. I get the final say on who Ray fights, or he's not taking the job.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Hey, listen, there's a genius move because a couple of years later, the fight was worth a lot more, and Ray won it. And listen, he was justified because even when Ray won the fight, that fight led to his cataract injuries because Tommy's jab was busting that eye, not cataract, retina. He busted his retina with that jab. You know what I mean? That telescope. You know what I mean? So yeah. You got to know when. Did Schmeling spot the mistake with Joe Louis, or did Jack Johnson, who was probably? Well, they say Jack Johnson was in camp, but then there's other accounts where, because you know why Jack Johnson allegedly helped Max Schmeling. It's because he was ejected from the Joe Louis camp. He wanted to get work with Joe Louis, but because of like the trouble they say Jack caused when he was champion, some what was it, maybe 27 years previously before Lewis became champion, they Roxborough, because Lewis had two managers, he had Roxborough and Mike Jacobs, and Roxborough said, "Nah, you're not. We can't let you in here because there was already using the color bar at the time, and they said, "No, look, it's going to cause too much trouble." They just did, and Jack took that personally. They said he went to Schmeling and he engineered Joe's defeat. You know what I mean? Because what it was, like, Joe had a habit of dropping his hand after he jabbed, and that's what they worked on. And if you watch the fight, Schmeling is timing that left hand when it drops, and he was just caught Joe every second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. Oh, you know what's funny?
Oh
Yeah,
no, you're 100% wrong on that. First, you're 100% wrong on that. Yeah, I tell you that now. It's not that Joe Louis didn't want it. Maybe Joe Louis did want it, right? Because Joe did admire him. But I'm telling you now, Roxborough, Team Lewis, Roxborough, Jack Blackburn, right, and Mike Jacobs, they didn't want Jack Johnson anywhere near the camp. And listen, he couldn't come around the camp anyway, right? Because Joe Lewis's trainer, Jack Blackburn, was gangster as anything, right? Jack wouldn't even, like, seriously. He was gangster.
No, I was sorry. I'm watching this conversation in the chat about the Canelo Crawford thing. Man, them keep acting like Bivol was this big guy. Hey, Beats, remember years ago, I think when I first got on here, I was telling you how Bivol's not actually 6 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? And people were like, "Oh, he's so much bigger." I'm like, "Nah." I was in the gym with Bivol. We're hitting the bag. I walk past him. I'm 185 centimeters. And I was like, I walk past him, like, "Yo, I can't be looking down on you if you're 6 feet. I'm 6'1", 6'1", 185 centimeters, 186, 85, 86 centimeters." And I realized, like, don't get me wrong, he's probably a generously 5'10", 5'11". So these men act like Bivol was this much bigger guy. Like, no.
No, he's not a big light heavy by any means. By any means, not a big light heavy.
Yeah, it's one of them things where, like, the skill, you know what I mean? Like, the skill is a different thing. And then people talk like he doesn't have pop. I mean, I never moved around with him, but I heard him hit the bag. And I know what them shots sound like.
He's got pop. You see what it is, yeah? Like, with that Soviet school of boxing, yeah? They're not going to throw combinations that are going to leave them off balance and get them counted, right? So he doesn't throw them type of shots where, okay, if it lands, it scores a knockout. But if it misses, then yeah, you can get counted. Like they break it down point by point, man. They are really meticulous like that. You know what I mean? So he definitely can punch. Anyone says Bivol can punch, he can punch. He's not Bob Foster. He's not Archie Moore, but he can punch. He's not Michael Spinks. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, like I tell you who, like, the matchups, Michael Spinks and Bivol. I don't see how Bivol beats Michael Spinks.
That's interesting. I gotta watch it. Did Spinks, is he the one that beat Larry Holmes, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hated that guy. That's probably why I really hated him. Yeah, I saw that fight. I didn't think he won that fight, but that's just me.
Beat him twice. Controversially.
Yeah, controversially, but you know, I admittedly I'm a big Larry. You know, I've studied Holmes, and I'm a big.
You know what it is with Spinks? Like Spinks would land combinate. Like I remember we watched back the Spinks versus Holmes fight, and I remember watching it back, and he landed a combination. I said, "You're the only person who would think of throwing that combination and get away." Spinks is known for losing to Mike Tyson, but Spinks was a formidable light heavyweight. Formidable.
Yeah, you know what it is? I'll have to go back and watch it, right? Because it's one of them ones. So for me, right, I've got this thing. So it's mad because there's certain fighters that I never actually paid attention or studied, just because I might have seen them fight once and they beat like a fighter that I studied or liked. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. I remember certain trainers were like, right, you're southpaw, you should watch Camacho, right? And I never, ever watched Camacho because, so my uncle was a big Sugar fan, right? Sugar's obviously, my favorite fighters are probably Sugar, Roy Jones, Larry Holmes type thing, right? But the only fight I saw Sugar fight live was, I think, 97 or whatever, where he fought Camacho. And he got beat by Camacho. That's the only Sugar Ray fight I saw live ever. Like, I can't remember. I was 7, 8 years old or whatever. I can't even remember. So in my head, it was like, fuck Hector Camacho. So I never watched Camacho's fights. So I remember probably like 4 or 5 years ago, you know, and I think, so when I got back from Cuba, the man was like, yo, nah, you're southpaw. You should, and you got good feet, so you should study Camacho. I go watch Camacho. I'm like, all right, he's all right still. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're saying Michael Spinks, right? I just remember seeing the Holmes fight, which I didn't think he won. So in my head is like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? So I gotta give him a bit of grace. I gotta go back and watch him in his fights.
Like the Eddie Mustafa Muhammad fight. Like, listen, I interviewed Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, and like he used to give me a lot of time on Facebook. Like, and Eddie was winning the fight, man, and then Spinks turned it around with that right hand. Like the Spinks jinx could turn a fight around, but like it went the distance, but that knockdown turned it around. You know what I mean? That was his first title win, right? He beat like Marvin Johnson. Hey, listen, formidable light heavy.
I'll have to give him I'll put them on my study list. See what
Muhammad Cowie, all light heavy. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Marvin Johnson, Yaki Lopez. Listen, man, formidable. I'm talking about one of the best fighters ever at light heavy. Undisputed light heavyweight champion. Then moved up and beat Larry Holmes, and all he's known for is getting beat by Mike. That's the biggest travesty in boxing ever. Easily the biggest crap. That you're only known for losing to Mike Tyson, and you're one of the best fighters ever. You know what I mean? He was that good.
That's madness. Yeah, I'll have to give his fights a watch, but yeah. But all right, Beast, yeah, I gotta go get some work done here. But I figured, you know what, I had a quick 15. You know, I love to chat a bit of boxing with you, and I've not been on for a minute. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So
good to get you back on, Ennis, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, big up.
Pleasure,
Yeah, it's
pleasure.
it's 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 nice. I got to hop on again when there's some proper boxing to talk about, because it seems lately it's just been bare politics and nonsense. But you know, hopefully we got a couple of good fights coming up. I'm not sure who's fighting next, but hopefully we get a couple of good fights and we can actually have proper conversations. I want to hop on after the Bivol.
William Skull Canelo. Look out for that one. If you've never seen Skull, Cuban, he's pretty good. You know, I keep saying.
No, I've seen him. I watched this thing. I got to see if he's. You know what it is? Why? I'll tell you what I don't like about him.
Okay.
He doesn't get his head off the line.
Okay.
He doesn't get his head off the line. And he kind of sit. You know. So I don't know if it's been in Germany for so long. He doesn't get his head off the line, and he throws combinations, and he takes too many pictures. What I mean by take a picture is that he's sometimes there for the return fire.
Yeah, your mind's work a little too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got some of this thing. You know, these things. Yeah. A lot of times these things boil down to training camp, right? Is he coming to fight? Like, if he takes this as an opportunity to spoil the party, he could give Canelo problems. But you know what I mean? If he's coming for a payday, it's a different thing. And you know the mad one still, yeah, how Edgar Berlanga was chatting like he was going to give Skull work. You know, low-key beats. I've watched a few Skull fights. I think Skull would mash Berlanga.
I think he beat Berlanga as well.
Yeah.
Like, Berlanga would have a puncher's chance. Yeah. So he could turn it around possibly, but up until then, he's not going to be winning that fight. I tell you that now.
Yeah, no, I can't see him this thing, because that's what I mean by like the puncher's chance is just Skull takes too many pictures. Like, it's like he's got all the fundamentals to be a nightmare, but sometimes he admires his work a bit too much. So that's the thing where I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's, you get me. It's like sometimes some people take a picture to find the next open shot, but I've only seen about 3 fights, so maybe I don't have enough of a sample size to be like, oh, right, this is it. But so far, I'm like, nah, bruv, you can't, you know what I mean? You all put the camera down.
Yeah, I hear that. You know, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, he's got a height and leverage advantage on Canelo. Let's see what he can do with it.
Oh, Virtual still says Boots versus Stanionis. That's an interesting fight. I think that's the
I don't think it's going to be that interesting.
Really, Beats. Please expound. I want to hear what your thoughts are on that.
He's going to stop Stanionis. He's going to stop Stanionis. Yeah, he's going to stop Stanionis.
Really? Okay. I mean, I've got him winning, but I thought Stanionis might. You know what I mean? What's your take? What's the view?
Stanionis is inactive, bro. He's inactive, and when he was fighting, he's never fought the elites like Boots and them guys. He's inactive, and there's no rehydration clause because it's a unification. Yeah, so Boots are going to come in nice and strong, nice and fit, and he's gonna beat Stanionis up. He's gonna beat up Stanionis.
Yeah, you know what? Inactivity, that inactivity thing, it's long. It's long. It's long for him. You know what? You're right, Beats, because you see me, I'm going off. You see sometimes, when you're watching fights, like I'm on DAZN or I'm on YouTube studying a fighter for a fight they got coming up, right? Yeah. And then you forget the gap, right? Because I'm watching the last Stanionis' last fight. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, Rod, that was like 2 years ago.
Right. There you go.
Now that I think about it, because in my head, it's like I just watched the fight last week, but now I'm clocking. I'm like, nah, my man's been inactive for bare long still.
Yeah, he's just been out the ring for too long. I think if he was active, right? See, the thing, people like that, like Stan, they ruin their careers. He played bridesmaid to Errol Spence. He rather than take his title shot, I'll take step aside money. Danny Garcia. All right, you not you. Yeah, you guys taking all these step asides, right? And then offer to, like PBC ain't got no dates for you now. You just sit on the sidelines now, right? And now you got to go over to the DAZN to get this check.
Yeah.
This is about paying bills, bro. For Stanionis. Stanionis, like, dude, you're not ready. Boots is gonna beat this guy up, man. Boots is gonna beat this guy up. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. No. You're right. You're right. I was going off. I was thinking it'd be competitive, just going off, taking a look at the most recent fights. You get me? But when I factor in inactivity, yeah, I can't even argue with you. You get me?
Yeah. Got to take that into consideration. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I was just doing like a film study, not like I'm making content or anything, but just on some like, oh, let me see. You know, when you've not seen a man fight for bare long, you're like, oh, let me see what this guy's bringing to the table. So I just done that recently. I was like, all right, he might be a problem. Not a problem. Like, I just thought it'd be slightly competitive.
He outpointed Gabriel Maestro. How long ago was that? That was ages ago. How that fight was ages ago. Let me have a look. I ain't got his box record. Let me have a look. Stanionis. Ages. PBC, like, just going to get their fighters tump up. It's inactivity. Man's getting beaten up, bro.
Pete's is so matter of fact with it, like, yeah, no long thing. No long thing. Like, he's getting mash up. Pete's is like
the mash up, bro. Like,
no long,
okay.
No long thing. He's getting mash. He's getting mash up.
Since 2021, he's had 2 fights. Since, when was it? From March, April, May, June, July, August, October. Let's say September or whatever. 2021. He's had 2 fights. 2 fights. Is that any preparation to fight Boots? How old is he now? You're fit, right? He's only 30. He's not even that old, right? But 2 fights. Right. I mean, my guy had 2 fights last year. Boots.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, he's no rehydration clause this time, right? Because it's a unification. It's not going to be pretty, bro. It's not going to be pretty.
Man, I get broke up.
Yeah, it's a broke up. It's a broke up too. That's why I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? But it's the only fight he can take. I mean, because he's played bridesmaid for PBC. So this is his only chance for greatness is to take this unification. You know what I mean? Gotta go for it. And I guess the PBC feel a bit confident because Boots didn't look that good against Karen. But listen, just because Karen made it awkward, it doesn't, listen, it doesn't play out. Like, Stanionis is too inactive, bro. Right?
Yeah, it's not. And Stanionis does not have the feet that Karen had.
Stanionis is very, I tell you, he's very correct. The way he keeps his arms up, throws his combinations, and keeps shape. He's very good there. Yeah? But this ain't just about the technical aspect of boxing now. This is when them body shots thump you up in your spleen. And you've been inactive for so long against a big welterweight who's not having to rehydrate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it though. I think Stanionis is going to make a good chess match of it. And then Boots should take over. Boots should take over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. DAZN got a good schedule, man. DAZN got a good schedule. April and May. Well, let me see that schedule again, man. Let me pick up that schedule. 12-fight schedule. It's a 12-fight schedule, if I can find it. Where is it? See it there? All right. Here it is. Let me just pull it up. 12-fight schedule. Just waiting for the page to open up. Yeah, man. That's a good fight, though. At least we're getting a unification. At least we're getting a unification. And then after that, I don't expect him to hang around. It's time to move up to 154 and go after Ortiz and go after Musatalia. Go after them guys. Go for the greatness, man. Don't hang about, oh, they're taking up a amount of time. No. Unify the straps, bro. Try and unify the straps. And try and become a household name across the pond. That's what you should do. All right, so we got 12-fight schedule for DAZN. April and May. April and May. One sec. Need my glasses. Why are they what they used to be? Eyes are not what they used to be, brother.
12 fights. Interesting.
Yeah, they're of varying quality. Like they've got Shakan Pitters, April the 4th, against who is it again? Daniel Dos Santos. That's for the European title at 175. April the 5th, Joe Joyce versus Hrgovic. And you've obviously got TKV versus David Adilier. I think, what's his name? Richard Riakpo. I don't think he's on the bill no more. What do you think about that fight? Hrgovic versus Joyce. Do you think Joyce has got a chance? Or do you think...
I don't know, man. Joyce's last fight, he lost to Derek Chisora. So that's just been one of the worstly managed careers in recent time, if I'm honest.
Yeah. He hasn't even had a world title shot yet. That's crazy. And
he was in play for one at a time.
Knocked out Joseph Parker, bro. Man knocked out Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? And then, on the 12th, we've got Jaron Ennis and Stanionis. On the 19th, Dalton Smith against Matthew Germain. 26th of April, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. May the 1st, Kevin Lorena versus Serhii Radchenko. May the 2nd, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly. Devin makes his comeback. May the 3rd, Canelo versus Skull. May the 10th, Anthony Kakache versus Lee Wood. I actually want to see that fight. Kakache actually gave up his belt to fight Lee Wood. Just because of the money, man. He didn't want to fight that Nunes guy. May the 13th, Jaya Pataya versus Claudio how you pronounce that? Squeo. And May the 17th, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen. Terry Harper fights on May the 23rd against Zinnerman. And Josh Taylor versus Eckhart Esserman on the 24th. It's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights. It's a lot of boxing. Not really a lot for the American market, but so they're probably not going to be too pleased with me.
I mean, listen, boxing's boxing. That's my take. I'm like, are you a boxing fan or you care about, I don't know, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
The tribalist?
Yeah, tribalism, yeah.
Yeah, well, some people are too tribal with it. I think it's a good schedule. I like the schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously not the one to talk. You know, you're talking to the guy who watches amateur boxing, so
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't do the World Series of they do still do the World Series of boxing, don't they?
Yeah, but not as I watched the last one with the Cubans because it's funny, the Cubans go pro, but they've got like sort of a pro series that happens in like the Eastern Bloc, China, all them communist countries fight each other.
Yeah, if it comes back to London, because they used to do a few of them at the York Hall, I'll have to go and watch one. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Let me tell you this, yeah. When I became a boxing fan, man, I saw Hector Camacho go on that run from 130. He beat up Rafael Limon at 130 for that WB strap, and then Rafael Solis. And I tell you what, man, he was one of the best fighters up to that point that I ever saw. Like, his poise and his speed was incredible, bro. Like, the accuracy of his combinations, he was just absolutely incredible. Really good fighter.
Yeah, Camacho, and he had some sneaky, dirty tricks too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Spanish Harlem, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that like the Puerto Ricans were very crafty, innit? They were very crafty. They were crafty fighters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Benitez's dad, he was very, very crafty. You know what I mean? And you know, his trainer was it Giles or his that's Cam? I think that's
Yeah. Cam keeps saying, it's his uncle.
Yeah, his uncle. Yeah,
Billy Giles.
Yeah, Billy Giles. Yeah. Puerto Ricans were very good fighters, man. Like there was a whole load of them as well. You know, like in New York, you had obviously Hector, you had Rosario, you had Benitez, you had who was the Juan Laporte? Yeah, he was really good. Wilfredo Gomez, yeah, that some fighters back then they did, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was mad. Juan Laporte, I met his daughter like a few years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite fighters. Actually, he's really good. I remember like he like McGuigan before he fought for the world title against Pedrosa. They gave him Laporte, and I think McGuigan had one more fight for the European, but this was supposed to be the test to see what he was about. And when he cracked McGuigan with them power shots, man, he nearly knocked him out, bro. But McGuigan, hey, credit due, because Laporte could punch, bro. Juan Laporte was no joke, bro. These two guys are no joke. Yeah. You know what I mean? And see that them New York fighters back then, bro. And then you know what happened? You had these really tough New York fighters back then in the 80s, like, and a lot of them like Puerto Ricans, like look, I think Laporte was from the Bronx. Yeah, Benitez from the Bronx, Camacho, Spanish Harlem.
Yes, Spanish Harlem, Camacho, Spanish Harlem.
Yeah, and then the New York fighters, like you know, back then you had Mike Tyson, and then like a lot of them, like I remember there was one journalist. It was Jack Hirsch when I used to buy the papers. He just used to start cracking on the New York fighters and say they were hype jobs, but that was in the 90s. And I think a few of them, like I think he really didn't. He wasn't keen on Shannon Briggs. And then later on, he started attacking Adrian Broner, even though he weren't from New York. Like Jack Hirsch. Yeah, he was a bit controversial, man.
He was backing. So he had a problem with Shannon Briggs, but he was backing Adrian Broner.
No, he didn't like Adrian. No, he didn't like Adrian Broner.
I thought you said he was backing Adrian Broner.
No, he used to smash Adrian Broner. Yeah, he wasn't. He just weren't. I know what I mean.
I was gonna say he picked the wrong horse to back.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. did train in the Bronx, virtuoso. He lived in the Bronx, man. That's where he lived. You know, he was speaking about his first amateur fight, and like, I think Mike Tyson even fighting there. He was there in the tent, and he lost that fight by stoppage. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, Beats. I'm gonna hop off. Yeah, good chat.
All right, Lennox.
All right, peace.
Be good, bro. Camacho was a changed man after he met Rosario. Everybody says that, but you got to speak to Uncle Beats about it. You know what I mean? You got to speak to Uncle Beats. That's who you got to speak to. You know what I mean? Everyone talks about the Rosario fight. Not necessarily, bro. Not necessarily. You know what I mean? The fight where the wheels started to come off, right, was Jose Luis Ramirez. Yeah? Because he started like a train and he decked Ramirez, and normally he would have finished him off. He was a good finisher. This is what I was saying. You know what I mean? Like, when he stopped Rafael Williams after the Solis and Limon fight, this guy was like Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard. You hear Leonard bigging him up. This guy was like on the world stage. Rafael Williams was a really good fighter, and he stopped Rafael Williams, right? A big lightweight, a very capable lightweight who fought all the way up to super flipping middle, right? Now, Jose Luis Ramirez isn't no joke, right? You're talking about a man who fought Pernell Whitaker twice, Chavez, stopped Rosario, lost to Rosario. But this is when Hector was obviously feeling the pinch, making the weight, right? And he couldn't finish him off, and he won the UD. And that's when people started to say, well, what do we have here? Then I've got the box rec up now. He's fought Freddie Roach. I've never seen a Freddie Roach fight. He outpointed Freddie Roach. And then he fought Edwin Rosario. Edwin hurt him a couple of times, and it was a close fight. And a lot of people say, "Oh, that fight ruined him." No, it didn't ruin him. That's not what ruined him. Because almost the same thing happened against Cornelia Bowser Edwards after. He floored Bowser Edwards early, right? And then he just couldn't find the energy to really perform to his optimum. That's all it was. Yeah. And then when he moved up to, when did he move up to 140? When he beat Ray Mancini, I thought he beat Mancini more convincing. He kind of like was dabbling in the streets and all that. I mean, that's type of dude he was. But the Rosario fight was a good fight. I remember them fights. I remember when Edwin Rosario stopped Livingston Bramble, right? When he stopped Livingston Bramble and took Bramble's WBA title that Bramble took from Mancini. Edwin Rosario was a very good fighter. Very good fighter. But yeah, that's the popular narrative, is that the Edwin Rosario fight finished like I don't know. The fight that really changed. Let me tell you, the fight that changed it was when he took that pasting against Julio Cesar Chavez. Now that changed it. He took, because normally he was a very good defensive fighter. He took an absolute pasting. But you know what saved him? He had a great chin. He had a great chin. He was tough as anything, and he was durable. Camacho. Camacho was never stopped. He was never stopped. Right? 80 plus fights. He was never stopped. He was durable as anything, and he was tough. But he took an absolute beating. Right? All his eye was busted up against Chavez, and he was just outgunned. He was outgunned. Yeah. That was at 140. Camacho was a serious operator, though, at his prime, bro. I'm telling you. Oh, okay, I get you first. Oh, you're saying that's it. Oh, I thought you said Joe Lewis people. Yeah, yeah, it's people. Yeah, Joe Lewis. I think if it was just down to Joe Lewis, he would have rolled with Jack. I think he would have rolled with Jack. But the management, Roxburgh and Jacobs, nah, they weren't having it. And like I said before, Jack couldn't go around there anyway because Blackburn was not a man to mess with. Jack Blackburn was not a man to mess with. Yeah, definitely not a man to mess with. Dirty boxes and boots stops Stanionis. Been on his mom's couch for years. Exactly. The man's just like too inactive. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, we lost all of them, innit? All of them, all the fights we're talking about, except like Greg Haugen's gone, right? Flipping. First man to beat Camacho, Haugen. He's gone. Bramble's gone. Rosario's gone. Who else went in this series? Yeah, man. All passed on. All passed on, man. Rosario had substance abuse issues as well, man. You know what I mean? See the 80s, man. It was the cocaine era, and a lot of them were just taking coke and living on the edge. Living on the edge. Big up Bruce Gass. He said Rosario took the macho out of Camacho. Yeah, he did hurt Camacho with that left hook. Yeah, Boom Boom's still here. Boom Boom is still here. Yeah, yeah. Boom Boom Mancini. You know what I mean? Boom Boom Mancini, his upper body was like, I don't know how, like, because he was short, but his upper body was just hedge, in it? like, like he looked like a sawed off middleweight, bro. Yeah, social joys. People indulged and enjoyed in the 80s. Yes, they did. It was a time of excess. Indeed. Yes, it was. It was. It was. It was. It's not like now, man. It's not like now. You know, like it wasn't perfect, but see, like now, like men and women are traumatized by each other, and a lot of that is through the court system. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not awarding not awarding men more time with their kids and stuff, and they talk about alimony and prenups and flipping child support and all that crap there, yeah. And now you've got all this patriarchy, matriarchy. We didn't used to have that. Like, we just everyone was just cool, really, isn't it? Everyone was just cool. Everyone was just cool. Didn't really have all that crap there. Even with racism, like back in the day, racism you had to deal with it like heads on. But now you just get a lot of people talking crap online. It's not like today. Okay, we've got a difference, and you're right. We can throw hands at it. No, these days, I mean, you know. Although the 80s did mess up sex. It messed up sex with AIDS, in it. It did mess up sex. You know what I mean? There was a lot of indulgence, though, like you say, social trends. There was a lot of indulgence. See, in them days, the testing was very rudimentary. So they. I mean, I think Tim got done for marijuana. Bruce Gass, remember he got done for marijuana. He was one of the few. He got caught for marijuana. He probably got a little fine. Good days, man. Hector Camacho. Bruce Gass says the best performance was the beating of Bazooka Lemon for the WBC Super Featherweight title. That was a masterclass. It was a masterclass. It was a masterclass, man. Absolute masterclass. I remember watching, like, you know what I mean? I was saying, wow. There was so much great fighters, man. Like, I was catching up on a lot of the fights, man, on VHS, and then just got to see some great fighters, man. Some great fighters. You know what I mean? Camacho, man. Wow. But he liked that street life, didn't he? He liked that street life. Yeah, there's not much of them still around, man. Roger gone. Mayweather, Livingston Bramble gone. What's his name? Rocky Lockridge. Rocky Lockridge gone. Wow. Aaron Pryor. Who's the one who beat up Aaron, got beaten up by Pryor and beat up Ray Mancini? Arguello. He's gone. Did Harry Arroyo pass away? I'm not sure. He was a good fighter. He was pretty good. He was from Youngstown, Ohio, like Ray Mancini. Remember Harry Arroyo, Bruce? Bruce knows Harry Arroyo. Bruce knows, man. Bruce knows Harry Arroyo. Did he? I think he beat. Oh, he's still going. 67. He beat Terrence. Did he beat Terrence Arley for the title? I remember him losing to Jimmy Paul from the Kronk. Remember Jimmy Paul? He was a good puncher, bruh, from the Kronk, lightweight champion. Good puncher. Oh, there he is. There he is. Few less hair follicles, but he's all right. He looks cheery. How you with that, Harry? 67. Man, yeah, man. Harry, how you with that? Harry was a good fighter, man. Harry was a good fighter, good action fighter. Oh, wow. It cost Tim 25K and 60 days in a rehab. Oh, man. Just a little weed? That's serious, man. Yeah, Joe Bugner's still going, man. Yeah, Bugner's still going. Joe Bugner's still going. I mean, yeah, the street life took Hector's life, man. Harry beating Jimmy Paul. Nah, Harry didn't beat Jimmy Paul. Jimmy Paul beat Harry. Bruce. Jimmy Paul beat Harry. 15 rounder. It went to 15. Harry Arroyo, man. Let's see if we can find his box right quickly. I should put the laptop on. That's what I should have done. I ain't gonna do that, man. I've got to jump off soon. I'm staying on too long. These are supposed to be an hour-long videos. You know what I mean? My minutes are gonna run out for the month, and I'm gonna be complaining. You know what I mean? I start crying. Yeah, you see, two of his KO losses were at the higher weights. He even fought Bruce Strauss. Remember Bruce Strauss? Bruce Guts. You remember Bruce Strauss? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, he lost a 15 rounder to Jimmy Paul. One of the judges had it really close, isn't it? Terrence Ali, yeah. Yeah, he won the title from Charlie Brown. There was two Charlie Browns. There was the black Charlie Brown, and there was the white Lightning Brown. You know what I'm saying? He fought White Lightning twice. And there was Charlie Choo Choo Brown, the black fighter. Yeah, you see, he fought both of them. He fought both of them consecutively. That's amazing. Okay. He stopped both of them. Now, Choo Choo Brown was the better puncher. Yeah, he was a decent puncher. Wow. Charlie Choo Choo Brown. I love the 80s, man. I love the 80s. Did they ever fight? Did Charlie Brown and Choo Choo Brown ever fight? How come no promoter put that one together, Bruce? How come we didn't get that? It was at the same weight. How come that fight never happened? One of them things, isn't it? Can't get all the fights. Tyrone the Butterfly Crawley, Bruce. That was Livingston Bramble's. Was that his first defense of the belt he won from Mancini? Yeah. He floored him a couple of times. Tyrone was undefeated. Yeah. The boxing kangaroo. What's up? Wow. They definitely should have fought, man. Probably not much money in it for the promoter. Or it would have happened, didn't it? Or it would have happened. Yeah, Bruce says nothing like the 80s boxing for me. Yeah, me too. Me too. I love the 80s boxing, man. Love the 80s boxing. Do we remember Tony Ayala? We'll never forget Tony Ayala. He was crazy. He's passed away now. I mean, like, he had some serious issues, like involving grape, him actually being assaulted as a kid. It was horrible, and him doing some. I mean, he used to spit on his opponents. Remember, he spit on his opponent after he stopped them. Wow. He was penciled in to fight Duran, actually. Then he got caught up in the nonsense he was doing. Yeah, 15-round fight, social joints. 15-round fights. Yeah, Bruce the Mouse Strauss. That's the one. That's the one, Bruce, guys. Speak up. Wow. Was Bramble another judge man, allegedly? Yeah, Tony was a brutal. Exactly what you said, Bruce. Yes, he was. He was. Just had a lot of issues. Just had too much issues. He wasn't a bad fighter. Who promoted him? Did Lou Duva promote him? Was it Lou Duva? Let me see. Lou Duva was huge, man, back then. People forget how influential, and he signed all the Olympians: Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield, Tyrell Biggs, Mark Breland, Meldrick Taylor. I missed any? He signed all the Olympics from the Los Angeles Olympics. I tell you what, man, that's what transitioned me into becoming a real boxing fan. Is watching them Olympics, man. The 1984 Olympics, and I was watching like most of the Olympic team. Like flipping now, the talent, man, the talent. Tyrell Biggs, bro. Tyrell Biggs fought Lennox Lewis in that Olympics, you know. And Lennox was young. Lennox was inexperienced, but you could see the potential in Lennox, man. Lennox flipping tough, bro. You know what I mean? But Tyrell Biggs just had a few little too much tricks for Lennox, and he outpointed him in that Olympics. And then 4 years' time, and Lennox won the Olympics himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, Tony Ayala, co-managed by the Duva family. Yeah. Yeah, namely by Lou Duva. Mm-hmm. Yeah, by 18, he was rated number 3 by the WBA and WBC. Yeah, yeah. Lou DiBella, Lou Duva was always getting in scraps. Remember that time he had Hector Camacho in a headlock when they were wrestling, and he got knocked down by Roger Mayweather after Roger outpointed Vinny Pazienza. Hey, Roger boxed a beautiful fight behind his jab against Pazienza, man. A beautiful fight, man. And then when the fight ended, Lou DiBella comes steaming into the ring, and the way Roger saw it, I don't know if you're steaming after me, and Roger threw that right cross. Lou went down on one knee, and his eye was busted up. Lou was pissed. He was pissed off. I've got an interview with Vinny Pazienza years back. He hates Lou Duva. Can't stand him. He hates him. He hated Lou Duva with a passion, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Lou Duva been around a long time, man. Yeah, Tyrell Biggs, he had substance abuse issues. Exactly, yeah. Wow. His brother Mike gave Danny Lopez the Ring Magazine Fight of the Year, 77, I think. Okay. Tyrell Biggs. Tyrell Biggs, man. I mean, who did he fight as a pro? He had remember he fought David Bay as a pro, and like I think just before he fought Tyson, that's where he sustained a cut, and he was behind him. I think I think he was behind on points against David Bay. I remember watching it, and he pulled it back. He stopped David Bay, then he went into the Tyson fight, and the cut just busted open. But he was the mandatory contender. You know what I mean? Cut busted open, and Tyson. Because, hey, listen, 84 Olympics, yeah? How did it work again? Let me see how it worked. 84 Olympics. Go back to them 84 Olympics. Tyson tried out at super heavy, right? And was outpointed by Tyrell Biggs. So that should have been a wrap. And then he tried out, because remember, he used to be super heavy. It's just like it is now, super heavyweight and heavy. And then he tried out at heavy and was outpointed twice by Henry Tillman, who he knocked out in the pros, and he knocked out Biggs in the pro. Yeah. Tyrell Biggs outpointed him. Wow. Oh, Tyrrell blind and broke? Oh no, that's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Johnny Bumpfus, he passed away. He had serious substance abuse issues, man. You know what I mean? Then he had this condition which just took his health took his health to a bad place. Is Mad Dog Hatcher still alive? Probably is, you know. He was crazy. Bruce Gass says the International Olympic Committee had Biggs at the super heavyweight from the beginning. Tyson had no chance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's yeah. You're probably correct on that. Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. Bruce knows his stuff, man. What fights are we talking about in the 80s on regular terrestrial? Yeah. Well, in America, what's regular terrestrial? Because they had cable in America way before we did over here. You know what I mean? They had the cable before pay-per-view. Their pay-per-views probably started. I don't even know. I'm not even going to quote. You know what I mean? You know, you're wrong, Beat, so I'm not even going to quote. You know what I mean? Oh, Robin Blake. I remember Robin Blake. White. He was a white 135-pounder. He was quite tough as well. Who did Robin fight? I have the box record. I'm trying to remember the names off the top. I like remembering some of the stuff off the top. I know Robin Blake though. He was quite big. He was a big lightweight from what I remember. Let me see. Who did he fight? Yeah. Okay. Harold Brazier. Yeah, he lost to Harold. Harold he was a good fight. Harold boxed way into his advanced years. Harold Brazier, you know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember Blake losing to Hector Camacho, and he got stopped. But yeah, Jimmy Paul. Jimmy Paul. Oh, Jimmy Paul actually defended against him before he lost to Haugen. Jimmy lost the title to Haugen. Edmund Curet. See, he was another one of them fighters. Very durable. Edmund Curet. Did he have a brother, or was it? It was either the Curet brothers or the Vuret brothers. They both. I think they both took Duran the distance at 135. There's some tough dudes, man. Melvin Paul. Remember Melvin Paul? Yeah, Melvin Paul. Man. No, it wasn't Melvin Paul. I've got the wrong guy. Melvin Paul was just a regular contender. I remember Bowser Edwards knocked him out in the round. I'm thinking of Alvin Hayes. Do you remember that? Alvin Hayes, Jimmy Paul? Bruce, you remember that fight? Alvin Hayes was break dancing and doing all this and that and that. And like Jimmy took him apart, man. Jimmy took him apart. First, he said, I was hoping Tiro would beat Tyson. If I knew he was on the pit pipe, I would not have wasted my time. Wow. Wow. Robin Blake is a cop. He's still working as a cop up till today? Must be deep into his 60s. How old is he? Bloody hell. Robin Blake. Oh, Google Vinny Paz knocking out Melvin Paul. I know Vinny's knockouts here. Dana Rosenblatt, Gilbert Dele, and some of his knockouts. Wow. Vinny was good. Vinny was the Tasmanian devil. Weren't no joke. Man, I've got to get out of it. Yeah, Harold Brazier and Sol Mamby. They fought way into their advanced years, man. The Universe Galaxy says boxing should be banned. Any particular reason? Any particular reason why? Or you just... I'll give you 10 minutes. The link is there. If you want to tell us why boxing should be banned, there's the link. Yeah, Soul Mamby boxed like how many? Yeah, from I think from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Did he box past the millennium? I think he might have done actually. He just boxed the box. Okay, he's trolling, yeah. It's all good. Soul Mamby, bro, that was a tough dude, isn't it? He was a tough dude. All right. With that, people, I'm gonna bid you farewell.